Welcome back to another Glasshouse Films Midnight Review. This time we're checking out Apes with Machine Guns 3, otherwise known as War for the Planet of the Apes. I got my co-host Sarah and Nick with me. I'm Carson, and you two recently saw the first two movies in this franchise.
Yes.
So, how are you feeling going into this one?
I'm excited. I grew up with, those original 5 Planet of the Apes movies, and I love them. I thought they were awesome and a really cool concept, and I've been meaning to read the book that it's all based off of. And so seeing the first two, I really liked getting an idea of, okay, this is how the apes became who they are and how we got to, that original movie. So I think it'll be cool to see what happens in this one.
Yeah. How about you, brah?
I just like seeing man-on-ape violence. I watched the movie when I was a little kid, and I watched the one with Mark Wahlberg.
That one was hot garbage.
I'm glad I haven't seen it.
I feel like I enjoyed that one as much as I enjoyed the second movie, though.
Well, that's right, because he hasn't seen the first one in this new series.
Oh, I didn't know if you're referring to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, or if you're referring to I think it's Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Because, I don't know, I hope this one doesn't revolve around just the misunderstanding plot. So where it's there's just this core, tiny communication problem we had, and now we're just going to execute the shit out of each other for 2.5 hours.
Well, I loved the first one, and my thoughts on the second are pretty well documented, given that I reviewed it 3 years ago. So you can go back and check that out. Long story short, loved it. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
I've intentionally kind of kept myself in the dark about what this one's about. All I know is more apes, and Woody Harrelson is a crazed warlord who shaves his head bald in the cold. So,
yeah, pretty much all
sold? I mean, I don't need any more than that. Sold. I'm ready to do this. Let's do this.
Cool.
Yay.
I don't know what you had in mind.
No mercy.
We stand on opposing sides.
No peace.
Right.
So, yeah, we're back from the movie. It was a movie. What did you think of the movie?
I really liked it. It's out of the 3 in the series, it's definitely my favorite. Loved it.
And what did you think?
I liked it a lot more than the second one, and I felt like it made the apes a lot more, empathetic. You were able to empathize with the apes a lot more. Because my problems with the second movie is that I feel like a lot of those humans were justified in killing those apes, and that they responded humans would in the presence of apes.
I feel like it made it a lot easier to empathize. So I'm gonna lay out essentially what kicks off the whole movie. Caesar has been at war with the humans for 5 years.
2 years.
No, 5 years, because it was 10 years from the first to the second, and then it's 15 years from here to when it broke out. So 5 years. He's been fighting since the end of... I really like that they're rise! Dawn! War! Do you idiots know the order now? At the very beginning.
The rise of the dawn of the war of the Planet of the Apes.
So, he's been fighting for 5 years. And Caesar, the whole time, he never wanted to go to war in the first place. And he's just every chance he's given, he's showing mercy. He's no, I don't want to fight. Leave. Just leave. Go away. I don't care. And Woody Harrelson, which we'll get to in a minute, Woody Harrelson is very, very driven to get rid of Caesar. And
for very justified reasons.
We'll get to that. Okay. And in doing so, Woody Harrelson, the Colonel, kills Caesar's wife and son, his firstborn son, Blue Eyes. And Caesar tells everybody, hey, they heard that there's this place that they can all go to, that the apes will be safe. So he says, okay, everybody go, I'm going to go get revenge. So he goes, and a few of his friends follow him. And he's looking for revenge against the Colonel. That happens in the first all of that setup is like the first 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And the way it plays out from there is incredible. Like, the biggest thing that I've always felt these films do incredibly well is they all have a great sense of scope. Like, from the beginning to the end, you're like, wow, a lot of stuff has transpired to get us here. And it always works. It always feels like a natural progression, and this film is no different. It was incredible all the way through. I loved every minute of it except a couple.
Okay.
My only complaint is I feel like a few of the humorous bits either didn't work or were totally unnecessary.
Yeah, there's a character in the movie that I feel like is mainly there for comedic relief.
I was okay with the character for the most part, but some of the stuff they did, I wasn't.
Yeah, or like maybe it was just the theater we were in. People were laughing at parts. So I'm like, but this is kind of serious.
There was one thing where some apes were climbing up, or they're climbing above some humans. I'm just like, where's the funny? Like, why are you laughing?
I guess because it's like sneaky sneak.
I guess.
I think I was the only one in the theater that laughed at like a pretty inappropriate time in the movie to laugh.
Yeah, you did.
That's just how you are too.
It's just funny, like it was just out of nowhere.
I think the movie worked incredibly well, and you know, there's been a lot of like back and forth. Oh, is this the last one? Oh, it's not the last one. Oh, going back and forth on that. As long as they keep making them this good.
I mean, I don't think it should drag it on. Like, I think maybe for me, I would be okay with the fourth one, and then that's it.
I can see a natural progression for where this series is going from here, and I can dig it.
Yeah, but I just don't want it to drag out.
Yeah.
I could easily see 3 more movies.
That's true. You probably could.
Like, easily. More, like, without spoiling anything, you definitely see 3 more human-based movies.
They would go in they'd pivot heavily.
Because the movies, especially this one, it's not very heavy at all with any of the exposition. You kind of have to pick up a lot of... I mean, they're not hard clues to pick up, because I, for the most part, think the movie was, like, fun, but a lot of the stuff that was going on was, like, pretty predictable with the whole... With the disease thing, I think you're kind of able to call out what happens, what's going to happen to most of the characters. It's still fun, though.
Yeah.
It's a super trope-heavy movie, though. Like, big time.
Yeah.
But I could easily see 3 more, like, human-based movies. Like, I think even if they made 1 more, I don't think they'd be able to get all the stuff. I mean, they set up a lot of stuff.
That's true.
And it's kind of like, okay, well, if you look at the old movies, you sort of know what's going to happen. But they're also... It seems like they're kind of taking it in another direction where they're not trying to... They're trying to, like, you know, keep the same sort of tone as the original Planet of the Apes movies, but not necessarily the same storyline or, like, the same outcome. So I could totally see...
Make it more their own.
Yes.
Which I do like that.
So, kind of going back to what you said about it being trope-heavy, despite them being indeed trope-heavy, I think a really big reason that makes these films work, despite that, is, with the exception of Jason Clarke in the second one, everybody does an incredible job acting.
Like Woody Harrelson.
Oh, that monologue he has.
He was just so good.
And what works is I keep saying what works. Matt Reeves is just like, I'm going to put the camera here, go.
And especially with this one, that's how I felt like...
That's all he needed to do.
I felt like that's what happened with this one. It was so good. And there's a lot of things, like Nick was saying, you just have to kind of pick up on stuff. There are certain scenes where there's, I guess, like no audible dialogue. And it works really well. In a weird way, and I mean this in the best possible way I can, this felt in a lot of ways kind of like a mid-70s film, in that it's like, we're not going to be heavy on the dialogue, we're not going to be heavy on the exposition, we're going to tell this story as visually as we can. It was also a really gorgeous movie. I think they shot it in British Columbia, that's what the credits said.
Yeah.
It's so gorgeous. So pretty.
I think Michael Giacchino has done the score for all of them. This one is easily the best one.
It was really,
The
really
music
good.
was
the score was
good.
really good.
Yeah, like there's like this gorgeous shot where they're like crossing like a snowland and there's the mountains and the
Yes.
sun's coming down with the music playing. Oh, it's really good.
Yeah, it's more than the sum of its parts. It is a fantastic film, and I'm so happy that we keep getting more of these.
And I like that, and I'm hoping they do what they've done with these 3 movies where they kind of space them out. So we're
Yes.
not getting like one every year, like it's been about
Yeah.
every 3 years,
Yeah.
which I think is real nice. Because I don't
Yeah.
want to have to be like, oh look, another Planet of the Apes movie's coming out next year. Like, I
Like,
want
when-
them to take their time.
Yeah, when a trailer comes out, you're like, ooh, new Planet of the Apes movie.
Like, I mean,
sweet.
I'm a new fan to these new 3, but I'm so excited for the next one.
Yeah.
Like way more than I thought it was gonna be.
And before we wrap this up, I definitely want to bring special attention to Andy Serkis. Holy shit, Andy Serkis! I just want Andy Serkis in a lot of movies.
Yeah, he was really good.
I mean, I really, really hope that, I think it's Ryan Coogler. I really hope he uses Andy Serkis well for Black Panther.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude can act, and I know it's like, oh, there's a lot of CG that's put onto it. Yeah, but there's still a lot of performance there
Yeah,
too.
he does a lot of work in it.
So, and all of the ape characters, all the ones who plays apes, they do put in a lot. But Andy Serkis is like,
They do.
he's the dude. He's the man.
Also, they never said the character's name, but the girl, the little girl, they
Yes.
never say her name. She was so good. I think from what the credits said, it's like one of her first films.
yeah, they gave
she's-
her an introducing
She's
credit.
amazing, and I'd
Yeah.
love to see her in other things.
It's like,
good.
wow, apparently this is the year of like mute little girls doing great jobs because we had Logan and now we have this. I'm like, all right,
was just
in another
fine.
like 3 months are we gonna get a holy crap, in another few months we are, because we're gonna get the new Del Toro movie.
That's right. I mean, she's an adult, but
And we get another season of Stranger Things.
so there you go.
Definitely
And-
mute or near mute girls in movies.
And they're all really good. So-
And also, normally I've seen a lot of the trailers going into this. If I haven't, it's because I don't care. But Del Toro's new trailer dropped for this movie, and holy crap, I'm
Real good.
psyched.
Looked pretty
real good.
I think it'll be better than Crimson Peak.
That's not saying much though.
Okay, well, some of us
Like-
liked that.
No, I did too, but I think it'll be better than Crimson Peak. But my final thoughts: great, go see it, please go see
Yeah,
it. It's
amazing
worth a
movie.
watch anytime. You?
Was.
Real good movie. Loved it.
Really, really liked it. It probably could have been like 20 or 30 minutes shorter if they didn't have so many shots of people's faces. That was the only thing. If you watch The Walking Dead and you like The Walking Dead and you're used to half of every episode or shot being a close-up on someone's face, then you'll definitely like this movie. It's
I
kind
didn't
of
mind it.
It's kind of
Yeah.
needed because the only ape that really talks still is Caesar. So you kind of need the super close-ups on everybody's
Yeah.
face to figure out what exactly is going on. But it's still really good.
Loved it.
Good
Check
movie.
it out. Please check it out. And please watch more of my reviews on youtube.com/glasshousefilms or Glass Films House. Yeah, I still messed that up. Twitter @glasshousefilms, facebook.com/glasshousefilms. Thanks, and what's next week? Is next week Valerian? I think next week's Valerian and Dunkirk. Because 14th to 21st is...
Maybe.
Oh, we got Dunkirk and Valerian next week. Yay!
Yay!
Yay.
Yay!